On Saturday the 12th of February this year, teachers' representatives from around the state heard an update on the state election campaign and the efforts of teachers to reduce class sizes by bringing it to the attention of local politicians in the upcoming state election.
When you're teaching children, let's say you set a 45-minute class. So you've got a 45-minute class and you've got 25 children, year one, in your classroom. Let's say, hopefully, you get around to each one of those children for a minute. That's 25 minutes of that class time of a 45. So quality teaching suggests that we shouldn't be teaching and drilling them in a 20-minute process to then allow us 25 minutes to walk around and service the needs of each one of our children. And of course, one child will need more than 1 minute. So where does the time come from in order to be able to do these things for these children? Where does the time come from for doing running records, which take anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes to do if you're doing it properly? So if there are less children in each class, then it allows us to spend that little bit more quality time, one-on-one focus with that child, meeting that child's needs, whether it be a child in the middle who just floats along quite nicely, whether it be the child who needs extra differentiated curriculum because they're at the top end of the class, or obviously the child that is struggling who needs even more help, who's in the bottom end of the class. So we need to have that time. So if we haven't got the time, then we need to reduce the class sizes so we can then give each child a little bit more time.
Students K-2 have had direct benefit of reduced class sizes. We can see this in the results in literacy and numeracy. We can see better classroom management, and we can also see much more time devoted to the individual care and education of the boys and girls K-2. What we need to see is this continue from 3 to 6 and into years 7 and 8.
At my school, which is a mid-sized country town with a single high school, we have a number of issues in terms of transition for year 7 students. The smaller class sizes that we're asking for in year 7 and in year 8 are going to aid the transition of students from the primary school setting into the secondary school. At our school, for example, we have a number of small feeder schools, which are 1 or 2 teacher schools, where we have schools which have a whole population of 30, 40, 60. And for a student to come into a class of 30 students, when they came from a school which had a whole population of 30 students, is a terribly daunting thing for them. And it does set back their ability to become comfortable in the educational setting, and it makes it harder for them to make relationships with the other students and with the teachers in the class.
Funding public schools to employ additional teachers will ensure that the educational needs of all students in our public schools will be successfully met.
What I don't understand is why politicians just don't get it. Class sizes of 30 are too big. We need now to lobby and to get our politicians to act responsibly. Our kids deserve a decent future, and a decent future begins in high school in years 7 and 8 with smaller class sizes.
The DET often says that quality teaching, or having a quality teacher in the classroom, is more effective than having a smaller class size. But to be able to give students the individual attention they need to achieve quality teaching and quality learning, there needs to be fewer students in the class. Teachers need to have the time to go around to students to help talk them through thinking strategies, problem-solving strategies, to help them break down complex problems into smaller steps. Having a class of 25 instead of 30 will help teachers to be able to do that.
When I first started teaching, there was no release from face-to-face. Teachers Federation in New South Wales did a lot of work making sure that we got release from face-to-face. However, there still is a great demand for more. At my school, as much as we try hard, we do have specialty teachers, but because of the time constraints and the limited time, my release from face-to-face is a bit of a horror story.
If we reduce class sizes, You are providing me the opportunity to spend more time on individualised instruction, more time on learning support, and more time to cater for the very mixed abilities that exist in every classroom.